We can start.
No, we can't, because I'm not ready.
Oh, but we do have a quorum,
Oh, okay.
so
We have enough people to start.
yes. I have to leave at 6, but Kathy's coming in case the meeting's not over at 6, and she'll take the laptop.
Kathy?
Kathy Moss.
Oh, okay. So we know it'll be in good hands.
Yeah, maybe.
This is Tina's report.
Oh. Said I did one, but I didn't.
Thank you. So we have 3, Ann is not here. Do we have a quorum? Is that okay?
Yep, 3 out of 5 is a quorum.
Okay. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Ann is not here. I don't know why.
5:04.
Ann is absent. She here? Oh, gosh, hello, Jerry. Russell is not here. Arlene? Me? And right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did not get minutes for last month's meeting. Did you mail them to me?
No, the email.
That's why I didn't get them.
Oh, I didn't know that you were supposed to get them by mail.
I told Tina.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yes.
So you
I'm
can
sorry.
just approve those minutes at the June meeting as well.
Or she can abstain.
Yeah, if you want. If you want to get it done, yeah. You can just abstain or you can still vote for them.
I apologize.
Oh,
I did not
no,
realize
no,
that
you did not
that
know
you got
that,
a hard
and-
copy.
And I know Juliet probably didn't give you those instructions either, because she used to mail them to me,
I'll
because I
touch base
never
with
go on my
Tina too.
computer.
Pretty good at following instructions. I don't recall.
Yeah, and she
did.
didn't tell you that.
I'll
no.
let Tina know
And
too.
I had mentioned that to Tina, and probably Tina forgot to mention too, so it's all right. We'll just,
I can give you a copy here. since
I don't
have
know
it.
if we should approve this, what do you think?
It's up to you. If you feel strongly about wanting to read them first, then you can move them to the next meeting, or you can vote and Arlene and Roger can vote on it and you can abstain.
Oh, thank you. Is this an extra?
Yes, I can print it.
Oh, great, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take this home with me. All right, well, I'm going to ask to approve the meeting minutes, and if there's any changes, I can make them next time, right?
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Next second.
second,
Second.
and no audience of citizens?
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, you're not. You're not aye. All opposed? Nobody? You abstain because you didn't read them.
Oh, that's right.
So it's
because I did
2-0-1.
not- Okay.
You could approve.
I know you got that, Joy.
No audience of citizens. We have a written report from Tina.
Yep, this was emailed to me this afternoon. I haven't had a chance to go through it. I wouldn't probably be able to answer the questions anyway, so I would say just go through it, and any questions you have, bring them to Tina in June.
Okay. Well, it's okay because I have a long report, so I can take her place.
Okay.
So Ann is not here either. So I don't have a report from her. Roger, do you have anything to share with us?
No, are the bathrooms done here?
What was being done with the bathrooms?
Or when are we doing something with
The handicap
handicap?
toilets.
I have no idea.
That you would want
I don't know anything
There
about
was
this.
extra
I put
money.
rails in the bathrooms.
rails, okay, rails.
The rails are done.
Oh yeah, that was done months ago.
What about the toilets? We had asked for the higher toilets.
I don't know anything about that.
I thought you said there was extra money for that.
No, we used all the extra money we had to make these doors on a button.
And that's
They don't
done.
open on the button.
They're being worked on. The project's not complete.
Okay, that was what Jared was gonna report on. So
We have a timeline on when it will be done.
Last I heard, she talked to Wayne last week, and he was scheduling the company to come back. Now that facilities did the part they had to do, the company has to come back to just. Facilities got the power to them, so the company has to come back and program them or something. That was the last update I had.
They will be very helpful, I'm sure.
Those are
Okay,
the only things I had.
that's all you have, Roger?
Yep. The only other thing to make mention, I guess as part of the senior issue input, is that it's the puppy picnic Thursday.
Oh. Is anyone from here invited or?
Oh, the whole community.
The whole town.
I know, yes, I know that, but sometimes they pick special people to help them do the raffles and stuff like that.
Not that I know.
Not that you know, okay. Okay. Jerry is not here. Jerry's absent. All right, so, me. I have my long report. I went to the community center outreach program on May 14th. And there was a town manager there and the town and the mayor. And the mayor mentioned at that time that the senior center will remain on this site. Now, I had not heard that to this point, but that's what he said when he was here.
Based on what? I mean, based on the housing authority not needing it back, based on no other building being ever built in this town,
Yeah.
or?
Based on no future information for what we would, the community center, senior center.
Somebody had asked about the update on the community senior center, and he started talking about how he's working with the Y. They're doing testing on the Patterson Way property to see if the ground can even handle a building. He said if the Y were to come here and build us an indoor pool, the senior center would stay where it is. That was pretty much all he said.
Yeah, but in that context, he didn't talk about the pool. He just said in the beginning.
It was in response to somebody asking about it was in response to Elaine Andrews asking about the pool.
Asked about the pool.
And that's when he talked about the Y.
And I just, it must have been me. I just zeroed in on the fact that the senior center will
Yeah.
remain here.
Can I ask a question? I know I'm recording secretary and I'm not allowed to participate.
No, you can participate.
Could I?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could impart a little bit here.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I don't know if that's,
this
I don't know if that's,
No, we're very,
you know, if it should be off the record or audience of citizens, or I don't know.
no.
We're not on the record, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we
Wasn't-
are because we're
wasn't- I know,
recording.
but there wasn't a motion made or.
So,
I've-
it's my understanding that the Y thing is like dead in the water.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Finally?
You know, that's what I heard too,
Yeah.
because they couldn't do the financial stuff.
Yeah, all I can tell you is that, you know, I've been keeping in touch with certain,
People,
yes,
Yeah.
certain individuals who know, and it's my understanding that it's dead in the water, and it's not gonna happen. And even the Y administrators of all of this are saying the same thing, because people have been resistant to it, so.
yeah. And isn't that a concern that we are still talking about the why? Yeah.
Yeah,
This
well,
point? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if what Joanne is saying, although not that I don't believe you, it's just that's not what's been stated in public meetings,
No,
which
it
is
hasn't.
why there's still a
Exactly.
conversation
hasn't,
about it.
Which is
Yeah,
kind of frustrating too,
Right.
because why are we still talking about this
Exactly.
when we know that it's likely not?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was still talking about the pool.
And I think it's because there's, I don't know, people being strung along, but that's.
And it's very unfortunate because I think that, you know, we went to all those meetings, Roger, and this is the end result?
Wow.
Nothing? No, not even any information.
It won't be the end result if the residents raise their ugly heads again and say, we want a community center that includes the seniors, and the Y is no longer an option, so what's the next plan, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I had asked him to put it to referendum, and he said I would be sorry if they did
I
that.
know, he
But
says that all the time, because that's his threat, so.
Yeah, but I think that's where it should go. It should go to the referendum, because if people want this,
That
we
would,
should have a voice.
that would definitely give you a clear answer.
That's what I said. I said, you know, if the people voted it down, I'd be okay with that. But doing this way is not a good thing for the town. definitely.
You want what to go to referendum?
Like
Bring the
Washington,
Y
there
in?
is nothing
No,
about it.
No.
the community center should be built.
Right,
Got it.
yeah. No, I don't wanna bring the wire, no.
Building a community center for the town.
Community center, senior center. Okay, well, that's where that is. We had a very nice, it was a very nice meeting. We had a group of people. We had Jamie Millard from Social Services, and she talked about the food pantry. Megan talked about the police, the keeper program for the seniors. Jim Simons from the fire department said there are smoke detectors available for people as needed. If someone calls and needs a smoke detector, they're the hardwired ones, but the fire department has some upon request. Ann Hartman from Central Connecticut Health Department reported that the restaurants are inspected twice a year. I did not know that. That was very interesting. And the B&A was here, Tina reported for them. Carrie from the library reported that the library has museum passes for people in the community. So if you want to go to one of the museums in the state, you can get a pass from the library.
Cost money to buy?
She didn't say.
Discounted rate.
Oh, all right.
They're free, right?
Discounted.
Oh, discount.
Yeah.
Because I know my daughter-in-law did that.
Yeah.
They went. I thought that was very good, but nobody knows about that. You know, I thought that was very good information. The town clerk reported that the land records for Berlin go back to 1785. That's a long time. And then, yeah, that is a long time. And then Joe Majorski, I tried to get a hold of him today regarding the parking lot, and I never got a response from him. But I did get a response from Jim Mahoney, the consultant, and he said there's going to be a meeting. Now, he said May 19th. Are you aware of that, Jen?
Nope.
A public hearing meeting for planning and zoning, June 12th, he said,
Oh, about
for the personal housing,
yes, I told you guys about. I told you about that. I called you and told you.
and that's June 12th, and that's that now.
They did one at planning and zoning, and they're doing one at wetlands.
Now, I have June 12th with a question mark. Is that he wasn't sure if that was going to be the date when I talked to him.
Planning and zoning. I would have to look at. I'd have to look at the agendas, and I don't know if those are posted yet.
That would be.
I don't remember a June date. I thought they were both in May.
Well, he said it's,
If they added one,
I think that he wasn't really sure. That's why I have a question.
yeah. I do have a parking lot update.
Oh,
Well, it's not anything big. Tina reached out to Mike Thursday of last week, and he said he followed up with the engineer, and they're still waiting on cost estimates. That's it.
and that's the
That's
end.
it. Yeah.
How many spots is it gonna add?
I don't know.
It's supposed to take 10 spots on the side.
I don't know if Tina's seen the new design yet.
No, yeah. The housing's taking 10 spots, right, but I was asking how many more we were increasing by this
Yeah.
$100,000 project. Give us 4 more spots.
How would, yeah, and
Yeah.
how are they going to redesign this? They have to have a meeting, I would think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they're
that's-
waiting from the engineer at this point.
So very,
On Facebook, it said that there was supposed to be a meeting on May 15th, and it says planning and zoning update, the senior housing applications of Vesta for 143 Percival Avenue will not be heard this evening. The public hearing is expected to be rescheduled to a special meeting anticipated to be June 12th.
There you go.
that's a definite meeting?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
expected.
It's definite now, right?
Anticipated.
But that's not the parking lot, that's the,
That's
Personal.
that's senior housing. Yeah.
Senior housing for planning and zoning.
Parking lot. I think we're just waiting on the engineer from the cost and the design.
Okay. I'm glad you're here, Jen, because another thing on my agenda is the ethics policy for the volunteers.
Okay.
I signed it as a
Okay.
volunteer. I didn't have a problem with it, but many people have come to me
Oh, you're not talking about ethics. You're talking about the abuse and.
talking about the volunteer program.
The most recent one. Ethics is totally different. Ethics is handled through the town clerk's office for commission members and staff. You're talking about I think it's the abuse and molestation policy that HR recently sent out.
Volunteer.
Any volunteer has to sign it. So the town changed insurance companies, and this is probably something that honestly should have been in place years ago, but with our old insurance policy, they never required it, and now they're requiring it. Another example is they're now requiring anyone who drives a town vehicle to submit a copy of their license, which the old insurance company never did. And you think about it, it kind of should have been done. So now that we've changed over to travelers, this is a new policy in place that anyone who could possibly be one-on-one with a senior or one-on-one with a child under the age of 18. So like all of Debbie's 30 part-time summer staff have to fill this out and go through the training. So it was also sent to Tina for all her volunteers. And Tina's already gone back to Paula and says some of my volunteers don't want to sign it. Paula understands their questions and everything, but unfortunately it's a requirement through the insurance company to protect both the seniors that visit here as well as the volunteers that are helping them.
What's their issue?
Really.
I just want you to know, and I want to go on record to let you know, this was very poorly handled. I think that if you're having the center runs on volunteers.
Yeah.
And I think that if that was going to be the case, the volunteers should have been called into a meeting and they should have been explained why this is necessary. I didn't have a problem with it, but then when they came to me, some of the volunteers, and they said, "You signed it?" And I said, "Yes, because I have had to do background checks for myself because I worked in school."
Right.
So I didn't have a problem with that. But many of them, now there's about 10 people from what I understand that will no longer volunteer.
Well, what is their concern with signing? What
They
if the
have-
document?
They have to do your social security number. You have to have a background check.
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't go into details of why they don't want to do this, but some people were reluctant to do this.
Okay, but I belong to a lot of different organizations and my social security, by now, if somebody in the dark web doesn't have your social security information, you must be living under some big ass rock somewhere because.
That's how I.
And it's all for the protection of the seniors.
It's just, that's the norm for any organization.
Yep.
Anywhere. From corporate down to volunteering for youth sports.
Like I said, it's
Right.
something that should have been put in place years ago and never was.
But Roger, that's why I'm saying I think this was handled very
Oh,
well.
well, so what, everyone just got a letter or what was,
We as staff, myself, Tina, and Debbie especially, because Debbie needs it for her under 18 and Tina needs it for the seniors, got an email that, as you know, they had told us in a manager's meeting that it was possibly coming,
Yeah.
but there were no details of it, so we were kind of just waiting for it. And then we got the email that with the meetings of the new insurance company, we've been working with the insurance company, our town manager, our finance director, and our labor attorney to put together this policy that is now must be signed by any staff working on anyone under 18 that's possibly alone with them, and anyone that might work one-on-one with a senior.
but how was it presented to the volunteers here? I guess is my
That I
question.
don't know because the email was just sent to Tina, and I don't know how she handled it with the volunteers.
Do you know how Tina
Well,
handled
yes, I can tell you how she handled it with me. I was here for something else. She had me come into her meeting, into her office.
Yeah.
She handed me this policy.
Yeah.
I went into the library. I said, well, I need to read before I sign.
Yeah.
I went to the library. I read the policy. I didn't have a problem because like you said,
Yeah,
if you volunteer for anything, your social security is out there. I wasn't upset with that. So I signed the two pieces of paper. She was getting ready to do bingo and I gave them back to her. But then after that,
Yeah.
people came to me and said, I'm not gonna sign that.
but did she go through it with every individual person? Like, did she call everybody into her office? I'm just trying to understand.
I don't understand. I don't know how she handled it with the others. I
Yeah.
know this is how I,
In her defense, she did send an email to Paula and say she stressed how important the volunteers are here and how if some of them don't sign it, we're going to be losing volunteers. She stressed the importance of that. And she asked Paula, can you just give me some more reasoning as to why it's being done? And that's when Paula emailed her back and said, this is the new insurance policy. It should have been done for years. This is what needs to be done. And unfortunately, if they don't sign it, they can't volunteer.
Okay, but so
I don't know what the conversation between Tina and the volunteers was.
gotcha. So what I'm hearing, if I put all the conversations together, is it was not presented well to the volunteers to understand why they needed to do this and why it was being requested.
It was very poorly handled, and the day before is when we had that informational panel with all the townspeople here. I think at that point, the mayor or somebody should have said, we have a new policy, a new insurance company. We would have, this is what we're gonna have to do. But you can't just call I mean, I didn't have a problem signing, but people are offended and they're not gonna volunteer.
Okay, well, I guess we need to kind of get a list of the people that are offended and don't want to volunteer, and either Tina or staff or somebody needs to delve in a little deeper to say, hey, let's have a
And I'm
conversation.
sure after their initial reaction, which is when she sent the email to Paula and got the response from Paula, I'm sure Tina went back to those volunteers and explained what Paula's reasoning was for it. I can't imagine she just didn't go back to them with an answer after she said she'd reach out to HR.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, why is that left to Tina? If this is a town-wide policy,
It's not townwide.
you said.
It's the
it says
senior.
right here.
It's senior. Well, it's townwide to the departments it affects.
Right, but it's
There's
all-
no
it is-
rean the building office
It
has to
is
sign that.
townwide. I mean, if
Yeah.
the building department took volunteers, they'd have to do that.
Right. Yeah,
If
you're right.
Anybody had to do it. The fire
Yeah.
department has to do it.
I'm just
sure.
thinking the departments it affects mostly is the
Right,
three
right.
departments under me.
Anybody who has volunteers is going to have that document signed by their volunteers.
Right.
going
Well,
forward.
I asked one of the library volunteers, and she said they hadn't seen anything about it. Now, whether they just haven't seen it yet,
But the library volunteers may be putting books on the shelves and not have an opportunity to be one-on-one. If they're not helping out with children's programming, they may not be in an institute. They may just be a
Yeah,
volunteer
that's
putting
not a
books
good-
on the
That's
shelf.
not a good answer.
no, yeah.
If
but
they're,
that's
if
not-
they're a volunteer, they're filling out that form because there may be an opportunity.
No, because the policy states the policy I think states, I don't have it in front of me. It's if
I
you're
have
going to
it
be
right
alone or in a
But
situation.
They can't guarantee that they won't be alone in a library that has children and seniors.
True.
Just like here.
True.
So
It's a good argument.
that's, anybody who has volunteers should be filling out that because there's always an opportunity that they might be a one-on-one with a child that walks into whatever
or a
Yeah,
senior.
whatever
or a
situation they're in.
senior, anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, in this day and age, it doesn't matter if you're a children or a senior,
Yep.
you could have an issue. So a background check needs to be done because they could befriend them and rob them blind if they were that kind of.
And that's why I feel that the town handled this very poorly.
Oh, I'm not, I didn't even see it. I mean, I didn't know about it
Yeah.
because I'm not
You're
volunteering,
not
I guess.
volunteering, right.
I mean, I'm on the board and I did the board.
And Tina specifically asked if members of the commission had to fill it out, and she said no. It's people that volunteer at the senior center on a regular basis that are going to be alone with a senior.
Yeah, but if you're here, like I'm here for knitting, I'm here for Swedish weaving, you're always alone with seniors, with other seniors.
Right.
So even though you're not a volunteer, you're still, I'm not volunteering at that point, but
Right, but you're a resident at that point. That's a different classification or a different level as far as the insurance company is concerned. Because any residents that come in and help out with seniors, you're not under the auspice of the senior center and being told what to do or being directed by the senior center. So it's a little different scenario. Whereas if I'm going to volunteer for this program, Tina's going to tell you what to do. Now, if you do the wrong thing or misbehave in some way that is inappropriate and the town gets sued, that's a different level of liability that the town now has as far as volunteers.
so my volunteer capacity for the seniors
Yep.
is this program.
Yeah,
Commission
you sign the
Committee.
paper. Right. No, but the commissioners are on we have a different set of rules, if you will.
No.
You
but
have
what
the
I'm-
ethics policy.
We have
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't interact, I mean, I interact with people at the center, but I'm not volunteering for them. This is my volunteer thing.
So then why'd you sign it?
Well, because I didn't have a problem signing
Yeah,
it.
but you didn't have to.
But you didn't-
Right.
No, I did not have to.
All
That's
right.
true. And that's what two of the people.
Yeah, it's not like you're one of the ones coming in and setting up coffee in the morning and stuff like that. You don't. Oh, okay. It's like, who's here?
No, I'm not. But I still don't understand. I just think the town handled it poorly. And I want to go on record as saying that because I think that if we're going to lose volunteers here in the senior center, I think that's very unfortunate because they do a lot here at the senior center.
I'd make a motion that we ask the HR director to come in and speak to all the volunteers that are affected by this and don't understand why they have to do this.
I second that motion because I think that that would be the best way to handle it. Have somebody come in, all the volunteers that have questions or concerns.
And I'm asking specifically for the HR director, not
Yeah.
Tina,
That's fine.
because I don't want it to get shifted back to Tina's lap.
And
because I
that's
don't-
how
Right.
I felt. This just completely got shifted to Tina, which I did not feel was right. That's why I'm saying.
It's the same thing. I mean,
Poorly.
Debbie's getting questions too, and she's having to go back to Paula and say, "What do I tell them?" So, because Debbie had to have, like I said, 30 staff do it.
And what is
Better-
Paula saying?
Paula's answering the questions.
Again, it should be in a group format, especially at this level, with these level of individuals. So we have a motion on the table. Any other further
And I
discussion?
second that.
Yeah, you seconded. Any further discussion? I'll call the vote there, Barbara.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, so moved that it, we'll have her come and address the volunteers
hmm
and have Tina set up a meeting
Yeah, I'll talk to Tina. I'll fill Tina in. I have to fill Tina in about the meeting anyway tomorrow morning. So,
for because I was really concerned after people started to come to me. I said, they were asking, why did you sign it? That makes the rest of us look bad. No, I don't think so.
But I think, Barbara, when somebody comes to you with a concern, it's our job as commissioners to say, what is exactly bothering you? So that I can understand what your concern is, so I can bring it forward and find a resolution.
Well, that's two of the people that I did question, their concern was the background check.
Well, what was your concern? They got a bad background?
yeah.
I mean, you know, what,
I had no problem with that.
it's not costing them anything. I've had to do background checks where I paid $40 to volunteer, so.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna ask a personal thing.
Well, but I don't think that's a personal, I think it's, again, what exactly are you concerned with the background check?
Right.
Is there something, you think I mean, it's a national program, it's not Tina or Jen or me doing a background check, it's a national company, so,
And the other thing was the social security number.
well, I mean,
I was a little uncomfortable with that, but somebody filled out their form with their social, put it in an envelope, sealed it up, and gave it to Tina. Now, that's gotta get opened somewhere, you know?
I mean,
But,
believe me, I put my social security number on plenty of documents that sat in gymnasiums on tables that hopefully didn't get left there for any length of time.
Yeah, my social's definitely out there.
I mean, you know,
see, when I did.
Tina
that
said her and
first-
Sammy did in front of Bingo one Thursday when it happened, explained to everyone and took questions from that at that moment at time too.
Well, when I did payroll and personnel and I had a report with everyone's social security number, I was told to keep that under lock.
was there anybody in bingo that was not gonna do it?
I don't know.
Yeah, Paul's not doing it.
Paul?
He's the caller, one of the callers. I don't know about the others, but I asked him specifically, and he said, no, I won't do it. So I said, well, who's gonna call me? No, he says, I don't know.
Okay.
But they have until the end of the month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Paula gave Tina an extension due to having so many seniors to
To
fill
the
it
end
out
of
and
the
everything.
month.
Well, they can fill it out at any time and then they can become eligible
Yeah,
to
exactly.
volunteer again too.
It's just
It's not,
like,
if they don't do it by the end of the month, they can never volunteer again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if he changes his mind or gets a better understanding and doesn't feel so threatened, then maybe,
Or if they filled it out, they can rescind it by the end of the month, I
Sure.
was told.
yeah, well, whatever, either way.
Yeah. Because they said to me, well, you can take yours back. I said, I don't intend to take it back.
Again,
yeah, we'll set up a meeting with Paula
Okay.
and hopefully the volunteers that have issues with it come and ask questions.
I would hope so.
Because I don't want Paula to come here and then nobody asks questions. It's the volunteers that don't have issues with it that show up.
And that's why we would have.
well, but
volunteers.
if they show up and don't ask questions,
Right.
then.
Then there's nothing else we can
Anybody who
do.
comes and complains to you, you can say, listen,
We had a
brought
meeting.
the HR director in to answer all
Yep.
your concerns and questions. You didn't say anything, you didn't show up.
Yep.
It's not our fault.
Can't help you anymore.
No, but I think at that point, if Tina wanted to reach out individually to these volunteers and make sure they come to the meeting, I would help her do that.
Yeah, I'm sure she knows who they are.
Because I would want to.
Because they can't volunteer.
That's right. Okay, that is one thing on my list. The other thing is Jaworski. I just wanted to mention, I wanted to mention too, that I was recognized at the volunteer luncheon for my 25 years of service to the Commission for the Aging. When Tina, I heard her reading off, and I said, I wonder who that is. And then when she read my name, I said, I cannot believe I've been doing this for 25 years. And it had good and bad. It was good because it's 25 years and I've enjoyed everything I've done for the seniors. It was bad because I see there's so much to be done and we get nowhere, you know? And that's a very frustrating thing. And I put that in my thank you note to Tina. I said, it's very frustrating to keep trying to do the same thing over and over again, nothing done. So that, but it was very nice to be honored. I thought that was
Have
very.
you chaired for all 25? Have you been the chair for?
Not for all 25 years, but I've been on the commission for 25.
Yeah, I know. I was just curious.
I don't think I've been chair for 25 years, but I was so surprised. Okay. It's really heavy. Okay. Does anybody have any old business to come before the meeting?
I don't know if this fits in old business or not, but I want to say congratulations on the award that you
Ah.
received.
I thought it would be under new business.
Oh, the Senior Center
we'll
Award?
do it under new business.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it under new business.
The Senior Center Award?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
We'll do old business first.
Okay.
There is no old business.
Any other old business? No? New business?
There you go.
I actually had nothing to do with that.
Well, congratulations.
It's the programs that are run here, and Tina, they got this award last year in a different category. So she said, well, hey, we can reapply. Why not? So she took one of her other programs, wrote up a beautiful summarization of it and how it benefits the seniors, and got picked again nationwide. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, it
That
said
is-
1 out of 7. It said on what I
7
read.
senior centers nationwide. We're not, yeah.
So congratulations.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
So we're
Was that-
working with,
It was
It's on
on
Facebook.
Facebook. I'm a Facebook.
I've got a Facebook person, so my son tells me I'm missing out on the whole world.
yeah, the
because I'm
town
not on
shared
Facebook.
the senior center post, I
Yes,
think.
they
Yeah.
shared that, and it was very impressive.
And we're trying to get it recognized at the town council meeting too, because last year it wasn't. So we want to make sure the mayor mentions it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and that even should be in the paper, I think. We should get.
Tina did a
recognition.
press release.
Oh, but it just doesn't get in the paper.
Well, me not yet.
What else can we do?
Yeah, well, I know not much gets in the paper.
Yeah.
I understand.
And it's not just us, it's everybody.
Okay, is there any other new business to come before the meeting? I just wanted to mention, I forgot to mention this during my report, that I got a call from Jim Mahoney today about the Vesta proposal for the senior apartments. And he said that he sent an email to the town hall that he wants to be sure that I get any information that they get from Vesta is passed on to me for the Commission for the Aging, so that I'll be able to inform the commission. And I was happy to see that, you know. He asked me if I've gotten anything yet, and I said, no, I have not, but if there's a meeting, Tina does let me know. So I guess that's it.
The only other thing I would ask, and I guess it would be under new business, is if on the minutes, the agenda, you could have the date of our next meeting posted at the bottom, just so that
Oh, sure,
when we see it, kind of just as a reminder.
as a reminder, yeah.
Because our next meeting is June 16th, is that correct?
Yeah.
May
I won't
and
be
June
there.
are our last two meetings, and then we have the summer off.
Right, July, August.
Yeah.
I think it's just that way.
I do have a question.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very new, so I'm not.
Oh, that's all right.
There's a lot
Any
I
questions
don't
you
know.
have, that's why we're here.
So is there anything in the meantime that we should be working on that I should be like finding out about, learning about, that would be helpful? to this?
You know, if you have a special interest, like Jerry had the interest with the handicap stuff, the door buttons and the bathroom things, and she went ahead and took care of it. If there's anything that you feel that needs to be addressed, absolutely, please let us know. Because
That'll
that's,
be the report.
yeah, that'll be.
I don't have it yet, Sharon.
But, you know, it's good because we can't think of everything. I mean, if you think of something, if you see a need for something, I think that definitely is helpful. you
Well,
know?
I do like watching what's going on. Facebook does tell us things that,
Uh-huh.
you know, I don't know how we can, maybe I can keep an eye on that and share any of that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, our town Facebook page has become very, very active. We're trying to post on a semi-daily basis now. So
I guess I'm gonna have to start.
We'll have to get you.
I have a wonderful, I just had a new computer installed, and I think twice I sat down at, it, you know? I'm just not that type of a person, but, I guess I'll have to change my ways. Okay, if there's anything else, any other new business? Other than that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Okay,